once again, guys, I am not a good example what I'm about to say here. So welcome back to the channel and a new video. I spent thousands of pounds of our business money. Like Chris has said previously in videos, I don't run things by him. I mention them to him if they're coming. But this deal happened over the weekend, and for those of you that follow me on Instagram would have seen me put a post out saying I need a man and a big van to pick up a big package from Belper. So you can see it's a motorcycle from the thumbnail. But the guy reached out to me, he's like, Rob, look, I've got this bike. It's got no keys, it's got no paperwork, no logbook, the steering lock is on, it's in a neighbour's garage where he used to live, and so on and so on, guys. It don't sound brilliant, does it? But all I could do was all the best checks I possibly could do. So I started off by saying to the guy that owns it, right, what is your full name and what is the address that you had that bike registered at? He gave me his full details, previous address, everything like that. Now, if anyone ever tries selling you a vehicle, they ain't got a logbook and it was registered in their name, you can do what I done. So I said, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I went straight on the Gov website and I put in there, lost my V5. Now, if you're the registered keeper of a vehicle, you can order a new V5 online, 25 quid. So I put in the reg of the vehicle, the chassis number of the vehicle, and all of his details. And it went through to the processing bit and it said, yes, you can do this online, pay the 25 quid. So I then knew that he was genuine and that bike was registered in his name. Then the next check I done was a car vertical. I'll show you that now. So here's the check I done, guys. Ducati 848. Scrolling a little bit further down, you can see mileage okay, theft okay, accidents okay, and finance okay. Guys, if there was an issue with your vehicle, whether it be a car or a motorcycle, of course, one of these ticks in green there on finance would be clearly highlighted in amber, and it would be the same for accidents, etc, etc. Manufactured 09-2011, MOT, rear wheel bearing, slight play in that one, another MOT there in 20, another MOT April 21, and another MOT on the 8th 21. So all of the MOTs there, but you can see the MOT has actually expired for quite a while, which does make the story I'm about to tell you ring true. The mileage there, all going in the right direction, and you can see on the last MOT on the 8th 21, it was 9,380 miles. He did say it's around 9,000 miles, but didn't know the exact amount because he hasn't obviously started the bike for a long time. Scrolling a little bit further down, this is all of the countries that the check was performed in. And then down here, you've got your specs and equipment, Ducati 848 EVO. So really nice bike, the EVO. Comes with all the Olin suspension, etc, etc. If you do know about bikes, you'll know that that is mega. And then right down the bottom here, you've got your 9 helpful step-by-step tricks and tips of things to check when you're purchasing your car or motorcycle. I want to thank Car Vertical once again for the continued support on the channel. Guys, to benefit from a discount off of your check, use the code up on screen now, or there's a link in the description. I am not condoning doing what I've just done. It is a big risk and it is a lot of money. And I am now sitting here in my van like a plonker, waiting for a chap who is a subscriber as well. I've never met in my life, I've only had a telephone conversation with, who's gone round and picked this bike up from the neighbour, so hasn't even met the guy that I bought it from, and I've took his word for it. He's on his way here with that bike. So guys, I'll pick up once he gets here, if he turns up. I'm sure it's on its way. He spoke to me a few times today, but let's see how we get on. Here it is, guys. Jem has just arrived for it. And any of you, what sort of area do you cover, Jem?
Anywhere really, but Derbyshire way.
Derbyshire?
Yeah.
And a huge shout out to you, thank you. It's such short notice. I put that Instagram post out. Yeah. Jem was straight on it. He's like, Rob, I'll pick that up for you. And guys, here it is. There was always an element of worry in the background. Was this real? Was it really going to happen? But it has arrived. I'm going to let these guys get it unloaded, and I will put Jem's phone number in the description down below. If you've got any recovery work and you're up that way, give him a shout. And I mean, like I said, this was last night I put this post out, didn't I? Yesterday. And he's gone straight round there, collected it, no problems whatsoever. And you can see how nicely they have strapped it all up for me. So anyway, let's let them get it unloaded and we'll have a proper look. So absolutely, guys, the bike arrived. Chris is wandering around it, but he's out of his comfort zone here. But mate, this is...
looks a weapon, doesn't it?
It is a proper bit of kit. So overall, he did say, the chap who bought it off, he said it's mint, Rob, but he hasn't seen it for 2 years. He obviously, it was part of a breakup, and she threw away the keys and everything for it. But unfortunately, when it arrived, I know that weren't a recovery guy, but looking in there, it's got a snap bolt, and that one will go again, so we can repair that. And then down here, the other side, this is quite common.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's where you go to put the stand down and you put your foot on there and it's just broke it off. Again, you'll see it. This will be quite hard to find because most of them are broken and people snap them up. So it has been sat for approximately 2 years, Chris.
Right.
Obviously, I should have got it on camera, your reaction when I said I've bought this, the steering lock's on, it's got no keys, it's got no logbook. There was a huge story about it. You know, one of them stories like red flags?
Yeah, all of it. That's right.
But spent a lot of money on this. It was a huge gamble, and I think it's paid off. I've now applied for the V5. That's on its way. Ignition-wise, key-wise, what we can do is actually wait for the security code, which I can't get until I've got the V5. But I know the V5's going to come. I know it is. The other thing we can do is I'll remove the ignition barrel and the dash.
Right.
Take them up to Aiden's mate, who does bikes, and he will cut a key for the lock and do the chip to the dash, and then it's running then. If it runs, I'm sure it does run. He did, I haven't shown you yet, but he did show me a video of this running when he was actually going to sell it a couple of years ago, and I've got that. I can go to that video and show you it. But yeah, very, very minimal to do. But the battery is behind this panel. That's completely toast because it's been sat. So I need to order up a battery from Tamnar, get that ignition barrel out, get that cluster out, and get it all sorted out. When a logbook comes, it can go. It is a bit of a shame with a Ducati. People are really, really more finicky than they are with a normal everyday bike. Everyone loves a bit of history, but with a Ducati, it is really important to have the history with it.
Right.
And there's none with this bike. There's literally, that is all we got for all of that money that I spent. To you,
looks nice though, doesn't it?
It looks nice, but to you, you probably can't see them thousands of pounds that I've put into this, but I promise you there's going to be a nice payday in this. As long as it starts up, but there's no reason why it's not going to, is there?
Is that exhaust trick or is that standard?
Exhaust is proper trick. The standard one is in a cardboard box in the boot of my van.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
He also said in the garage where it was, he bought a lot of carbon bits for it. He said, I'll put that on because it was just clip on. He said there's a carbon front mudguard in the garage for it and some other carbon bits. But unfortunately, we never got them with it. I have spoke to his neighbour and said if he can find them, we're quite happily pay the postage to get them down here. But I guess, what do you want to try and do? Make this a one-part video? And
well, I suppose just thinking aloud here, if we got to wait for a logbook before we could get a key from Ducati, we'd be better off getting Aiden's, mate, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. Because I can get them off now, and I'm going into London Saturday, so I can get that done, can't I?
I'll do that.
Shall I?
Well, we'd know if it runs then, won't we? Although you're pretty confident anyway. But that's what we need to do first.
I'll tell you what we do.
I guess it's got to go for an MOT, has it?
Yeah, I'll enjoy that. I think a little bit.
Within the national speed limit, I'm sure you will.
Exactly. Let's concentrate on getting the ignition barrel out, getting the cluster out of it, and also getting the battery removed so that we can get a picture of it to forward over to Tamnar and get them to send us out a battery. But
all right, mate.
Yeah, are you happier now it's arrived and it's
Yeah, it exists, doesn't it?
It exists, and it is. That's a beautiful thing to look at, isn't it? When you look at it around this side, how beautiful is that to look at? I don't mess about the old Italians, do I?
No, no.
They do not mess about.
No.
It just looks incredible. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's get on and get those bits off and get them up and get them done. Straight to work on this one, guys. Get that side panel off. It was just a load of little 5mm Allen keys, and I've got my little blue point set there so you can put the sockets on the screwdriver, and then an 8mm for the battery cover, and then just two 8mm holding the battery down. Straight onto the ignition barrel cover, which again was two 5mm Allen keys. Remove those and then got cracking with those cotton reel shear off bolts. Now I did manage to get one out, and then you can see I've got a pair of mole grips there trying to get the other one undone, but it started going wobbly and then it snapped in there and left a piece of thread in there. Chris ran in to get a pair of Stilson, see if he could just get a little bit of a grip on it and get it out, because there was a bit exposed, but that was a no-go with everything we tried, so that's going to need drilling out. That was a bit harder than it looked, guys. Ended up having to strip everything off and then move the tank back just to tip it up and get it out of its hole. But got the ignition barrel there now, so we can take that and have the key cut for it. And then of course it's got to be programmed to the clocks, so I've got to get them out now, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly how they come out. Some are pushed in, little 10mm on the back, so we'll see how we get on, but it might result to me actually taking off the whole front nose cone there with the headlight. I've released this little cover underneath here, so I'll have a good look up there with a torch, see what I can find, and of course keep you guys updated, but it's all part of it, isn't it? I did notice this little battery cover where the battery goes. You can see it's actually got a couple of little chips in it, but that one there actually looks like it's purposely been cut out for a trickle charger. Would you agree, guys? I think it has. But that one there is actually broke, and that little piece there is broke. I mean, it's not going to affect it, is it? But still, it is a minter. It all wants going back together properly, doesn't it? So we'll try and get one of them for it. Anyway, let's carry on and get this dash out. 3 bolts on the back of that, guys, and we managed to get them out. And I did it a way that a lot of you probably wouldn't have done it, but I'll remove the screen, just these little bolts, 3, 4, 8 little bolts there with little nuts on the back of them. I'll remove them, and then this plastic cover in here that actually covers up the dash, which is this piece here. If I just prop that dash, you can see there's quite a bit of give in it. So what I actually done was just bent it up a tiny bit and undone those 3 8mm, and then that pops straight out. So got the ignition barrel there and the clocks. I've just rung Aidan and said, can you send me over your make's details? He specialises in motorcycles, but what I did say to Aidan is I don't want one of these JMA crappy keys for this. I want proper Ducati keys. So, and I want a red one and a black one, so the master and a normal key. And he said, yeah, it won't be a problem. He spoke to his mate, he's come back to me, his mate said 2 genuine keys, so it's going to come with 2 genuine keys. I did watch online how you program it, so if we actually had a key for this and a chip, as long as you've got your key number, you can do it off of this dash yourself, but we haven't got the key number, we haven't got the immobiliser number, so let's just take it up to the pros and we'll pick up as soon as we get that back, and we'll go from there, guys. But quite a lot of it stripped down, but also give us a good opportunity to give everything a clean as well, won't it? It does already look very, very nice. Right, let's get this put away and get these dropped off. When I did take that ignition out, guys, there's 2 like cotton reel bolts, that's how I would explain them, and they are security bolts, and as you can see, the first one come out, the second one actually sheared off. When you put the new ones in, they've actually got a 10mm head on them, and you wind them in and then the head snaps off, and then you've got a little bolt that goes over the top of it. I'll actually show it later in the video, because one of them I'm gonna have to put in there just for a moment until the 2 new ones arrived. I've ordered them, but Chris is actually going to drill that out, clean up the thread so that that is ready, and I'm going to head straight to London and get this key and cluster sorted out. So I'll leave you to it, mate.
All right, mate.
Chris got straight on it here. The microfiber towel is just covering the fuel tank so that no shards or anything hits it. But he's drilling out the centre of that hole there. I don't know if he went up a drill bit there, but he actually drilled a pilot hole right through the middle. You see he got a little chisel on there, and I think he actually got it turning and managed to get the broken bit out. He does wander off here, and I know he's gone to get a tap. So he's got the tap there, he's run down the thread, just made sure that's all perfect, ready to receive its new bolt. Come all the way to Seven Brothers with, no, sisters.
Seven sisters.
Seven sisters to get this lock coded. We've got Aidan in the vehicle. He's not actually doing it. You don't do bikes,
No,
do you?
I don't do motorbikes,
He said the
no.
machine to do them ignitions costs 30k.
Well, not the ignition. To program the chips to the modules,
Yeah.
the immobilizer boxes, basically, they cost up to 30 grand basically to get. And I'm already busy with cars,
Yeah.
so I don't really want to.
No.
Get
He was
involved with something else. So
Aidan was our first port of call, and he said, Rob, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Head down here, his mate to do it.
Yeah.
His mate won't venture all the way out to Kent to do it for us. Aidan would.
wouldn't,
So
yeah.
he's just taking it off in the van. I had to take this little plastic cover off the back of it. I left it on there. I probably should have took that off beforehand, but he's got it. He's going to work on it. He said they are quite difficult and it could take half an hour to do. So
yeah, about that, yeah.
I'm going to be sitting at the Blackwall Tunnel, I think,
Yeah,
until
maybe.
about 6 o'clock this evening. But let's see how he gets on with it, and we'll head back to the yard.
Yeah.
So the next morning, guys, got quite late last night by the time I got back and got home. So the guy did say this can take some time, between half an hour and an hour, but this actually took just over 2 hours to do. So it is very complicated. He has to take this clock apart, get on, unsolder a chip, extract the information from that chip, solder it back on, then cut the keys for the ignition barrel. They do fit perfect. I've tried them both and they both fit perfect. And so now that key, the chip in that key, is coded to that cluster. So fingers crossed that is all done. Also, I took the old battery with me. I left it too late. I know, guys, I'm a nightmare. I said earlier in this video, which was actually filmed the day before, I was going to order a battery from Tannar, but I completely forgot. So I've been this morning to the motorbike shop and actually purchased a new battery for it. So let's get it in there, get it all plugged in and see how we get on. But I'm still confident, still very confident. Getting excited here fitting that new battery. So just a reverse process. Stick the battery in, two 8mm for the top, little 8mm cover. Chris is removing that mirror so he can get it on his bench and do the necessary repairs on it. What we've decided to do, there's no point putting this bike back together if it didn't work, because it'll all have to go back to the chap again. So you will see on the battery's in. We got the ignition, we can plug that in without getting in depth bolting it in. We can also plug the cluster in. So here goes nothing. Chris, are you confident?
Well, Aidan says the guy's good.
Yeah.
That's
What
good
about all
enough
the
for
money?
us, isn't it?
What about all the money I spent and you ain't heard it run?
Well,
It's got two chances, we say, don't we?
yeah. You got to take a gamble sometimes, haven't you?
So clocks. Oh, they've lit up. They lit up momentarily. Ignition. I need a...
One of the keys.
No, microfiber towel. There's one here.
Yeah, not the one I was using because
No.
I was drilling.
It's just to stop
Well-
the...
Yes, I was drilling. That's why I didn't leave it on it.
All right.
You put it round the tank for me, didn't you, to drill
Yeah.
the stud out.
Have a new one. It's only because I'm throwing the ignition here, and I didn't want it to obviously scratch up any of the paintwork. In fact, let's go from out here. Let's just put that there, make sure you guys can see. Are you ready? Yeah, that's probably really loud on camera, that Should we zoom out? No, let's zoom in. Right, here goes nothing. Hopefully.
Fuel in, yeah, mate.
Yeah.
It's stood for a long time, hasn't it?
Oh, actually, I could hear it whooshing about. Immobiliser lights. Full tank.
Oh. Yeah, that's all right. You didn't have a key to check it, though, did you?
No. Right, mobiliser lights on that. That's a good sign. I'll go for it, shall I?
I guess so.
Well, it didn't do anything.
Right.
No, it's not doing anything. Maybe because the stand's down. I might be wrong. Can we reposition that camera around your side?
Back a bit. Not in gear, is it?
No, it's not doing anything. Oh, hang on. My bad. Chris.
Right.
Mobiliser ring.
Right.
It's down there, look.
Ah, it's got to be round the barrel, has it?
Around the barrel. Still not doing anything. Try the other key. Oh, hello.
Yeah! And the battery's a little bit weak still. They charged it, but isn't for that. 9,385 miles.
Loud, isn't it?
It's loud. Every time you turn on.
Sounds nice though, Chris. The engine sounds crisp. That sounds lovely. Wait for that automatic choke to turn off and give it a little rev.
Yeah. Well, at least you can go back and get the properties there, can't you?
It can go back together now, yeah. So it was all because of, I'd like to show it. The immobiliser ring there, guys, I never had it hooked over the ignition. That sounds beautiful, that does. I'll tell you what we do, we'll cut here, and we'll let it warm up, and then I'll cut back in, otherwise we might be waiting ages. This is too loud on the microphone, so we won't be using it, guys. That sounds lovely. Let's get it back together. Very exciting. I had to pop out here and drop Claire off. She's gone to her friends and she's having a drink. So I left Chris to crack on, come back, and then we both just cracked straight on with it. I did remove so much stuff to get those clocks out. There was literally 30 of those little 5mm Allen key bolts. So we both went through it, fitted all them back on, and then right at the end of here, you can see it's back together. And that is it. Not one nut, bolt, washer, screw, or clip left, Chris, which is always a good sign. Chris is just double checking it because I'm about to jump on this. I'm going to be honest, I couldn't think of anything worse than riding it in this weather. It stopped raining, but it is damp out there. So I'm going to have a slow poodle. This is booked in for an MOT in half an hour. It's a 10-minute journey. So I will be taking my time, heading over there to get it MOT'd, and we'll pick up as soon as I get back. You'll have to excuse the crash helmet head, guys. Now, why didn't no one tell me that bike didn't have a reflector on it? Bloody typical, innit? I didn't even look, didn't even notice. The number plate was just legal and there's no reflector on it. Thankfully, while I was there, he's like, look, I'll do it for you. but don't make habit of it. It's not somewhere I normally use, but obviously because it's a bike. So, purchase price. Them bikes, let's go through the internet now. They're like 6,750, 7,000, right up to 10,000. There's all different mileages on there. They are a very, very specialist thing, the EVO, very sought after, and that is a beautiful example. It really is lovely. So we took a huge chance on that. I say I did, but it's half Chris's money, isn't it? And paid £3,000 for that bike, completely blind. I'd never seen it. I only heard the story, and I don't care what anyone says. That was a big risk. That £3,000 could have gone in the bin. You just don't know. I've done all my checks. It all checked out. I was happy to take that chance. And as you can see now, it has paid off, guys. And it is for us. We're always taking chances. It is the game. £3,000. Huge thank you to Jem who picked it up. I put the Instagram post out, said I need a package picked up because of course I didn't want to ruin the surprise. And Jem charged us £300. And when he got here, that was a good trek for them, 2.5, 3 hours. I also give them £20 to get a bit of lunch on their way home, which they really appreciated. And of course we really appreciated them doing it. The locks was £240 to have that done. And I literally left at 12 o'clock and didn't get home till 6:15 that night. So quite a long day out. MOT was 40. I think it was actually 35, but he put a bit of tape on, so I'd just give him £40 and said don't worry about the change, the reflector tape. £32. Well, I've got that wrong. That's £52 for the battery. Then we've got logbook. I nearly forgot about that. Logbook, you know they're only £25, but to get, I haven't got a checkbook. I had to get a postal order. And for a postal order in the post office, they will not take card payment. It has to be cash, which is crazy. And it costs you 28 quid, right? Because you're paying by cash. They charge you 20. Guys, I don't know how it works out. Anyway, with the postage, it was 30 quid for the logbook. And my trader's insurance does not cover motorcycles or kit cars. So I had to actually get a temporary insurance cover on that bike to ride it for an MOT for 1 day only. And it was 29 quid. Since the last MOT, I've written this down because the chap actually said to me when I was there, since that bike was last MOT'd, it's done 11 miles. Well, it was 6 for me to just get there. So literally, it's done 6 miles since it was last MOT'd, which was unbelievable. We are gonna ask for that bike because we leave enough in it for the next man. Guys, it can't go yet. It can't go until the logbook arrives, but it is imminent. It's on its way. It's gonna be here in the next few days. And we're gonna ask for that bike £5,750. And I think you would agree, that's plenty of profit for me and Chris. It's not being greedy. If one of you guys are looking for a bike, it's going to be £1,000 cheaper than you can find one anywhere else. So we're still leaving enough in it for the next man at £5,750. And that is going to give us a pre-tax profit of 2,097 quid. So that £3,000 gamble really did pay off. Of course, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Instagram. Guys, for those of you that do reach out to me on there, please always include your telephone number. You can also follow Chris on his jollies at Salvage Rebuilds Chris. If you want to see more bikes on the channel, let us know in the comment section. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you all very, very soon in the next one.